Domi here on pole position. Adrian lining up next to him in the AlphaTauri. It's Liam in third, the Red Bull. Holding off Matteo there in the McLaren fourth. Kai Bacchini rounding out your top five here. Enters there in sixth. Mario seventh. Lamp in eighth. That's Crampy in ninth. Cotters rounding out the top 10 ahead of Brazil. And it is going to be a dry campaign, as we've been informed from the racers. Will we see nice sunshine here? So far, the answer is yes. A little bit of light cloud in the sky, but we are here and ready to go for 50% distance running around Sao Paulo. And I am just very excited to see how now a dry circuit. We had a little bit of a damp circuit, a little bit of light rain in the quali. Now we have a dry circuit, and I really hope that these drivers have some patience into turn one after that quali, but it's a long race, and of course, this is when we're going to ask you in the chat, first and foremost, who's winning? Secondly, how many safety cars? Why don't you throw some podium predictions in there as well?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Like I said, I wonder, you know, obviously the qualifying was most on those dry tyres, but that rain could have really thrown a little bit of a spanner in the works for some of these drivers who maybe are more confident on a completely dry track. And that might mean we've got some guys who are now a little bit faster behind a few drivers that they're better than in the dry, but in those wet conditions we saw in qualifying, it might get shaken up a little bit, and that could create a very, very interesting start to this race.
Well, take you all through it one more time. Domi, Adrian, Liam, your top three at the moment. Short way. That's Matteo, of course, in the McLaren. Kai Bacchini right behind him in fifth. Henners sixth. Mario seventh. Lamp in eighth. In a reserve capacity over for Extreme today. Crampy in ninth. Cotters rounding out the top 10. Joss there in 11th for Stat Ben 12th. XMB in 13th position with Gadwin right behind him. Darian Alfie and Scars 15th, 16th respectively. Yasko 17th right behind his teammate in the Ferrari. Squid 18th position. Wisp in 19th. And Jack S back in Tier 2 once again over at the Renault squad, where he started the season, now here in a reserve capacity as he had to bow out very early on. I believe it was just ahead of Baku that he had to leave us. So, welcome back, Jack.
Yeah, and the tyres pretty much split here. Darren Alfie on the hards in 15th place. We've seen him have some very strong place in other races around the calendars. 15th, not somewhere, you know, want to be starting this race, but those hard Commentators will have to see how the strategy plays out for him. And Squid and Jack at the back of the squad on the soft. Interesting to see how they try and climb their way up at the grid over the course of the next few laps, and obviously how their pit strategy differs to those directly in front of them on the grid.
Well, all the drivers now approaching the grid. That final car, Jack S in the Renault. Lights are about to come on for these racers, and we're about to go for 36 laps around Sao Paulo. Hear the engines revving now. The lights are coming on. 5 red lights here in Brazil. We are away. We are racing. It's a very good start for Matteo. Domi leading us into turn 1. Adrian right on the rear of him. We have a very large desync out of the timing tower, and there is a car getting shoved off. Look, that was the Williams.
Scars had a problem.
Oh, these timing towers. You love to see the desync coming out of these. I'm not sure if you're getting it, but I certainly am.
Yeah, mine. I don't even know what to compare this to, but
I think it's back. I think it's back, Matteo. Okay, he is in third right now. Domi, Adrian, Matteo, your top 3. Liam, Kai, Mario, Crampy, Cotters, Lamp, Verstat, Ben, the top 10 now. The intervals will properly update momentarily, but we have a large train. It doesn't look like anyone has any major damage. Missing end plate for Scars. Gadwin, Henners, wheel to wheel right now. Henners is just ahead.
Yeah, very, very interesting start. The timing tower, like you said, didn't help coverage of that, but Jack S and his return to Tier 2, like you said, from 20th now up to 13th. He's watching the two Alfa Romeos go side by side right now. Dijos braking very early, almost letting his teammate by there. Maxime B now up into 11th place after turn 1. but
Jackass,
Domi holds on to the lead.
he's no stranger to fighting with these guys. Mateo, Adrian. Like there was a bit of an exchange. Adrian holding second for now. There's a big exchange through this grid right now. As you see, all of the timing tower intervals are extremely tight. Jackass has Squid looking at him. Ooh, around the outside. The Williams looked for it. That would have been tight right now. Henner's on the inside looking for a move. Can the Haas do it around the outside? This will be tough. This will be very tough for Henners. He's holding it on the inside now through. Oh, Squid. Does he have the exit he needs to keep Henners away? No, he does not. And Henners gets it done into 14th position. Squid isn't done with him.
Just had a bit of a snap out of the rear now. Lamp is up his inside and takes 9th place, or 8th place, sorry, away from the Mercedes driver. But Connor's back around the outside. I don't know where he found that stretch of pace from, but he found it around the outside. He's not able to get it up the inside of turn 2, but very almost took that place back very swiftly.
What's that, Ben? Maxim B on the inside. Does he get this lunge down on the Renault? Yes, he does. He's into 10th position. There goes the Alpha. Henner's now looking at the rear of Jackass. Good friends, these two, for quite some time. There goes Henner's into 13th, but Jackass doesn't want to have it just yet on the inside, but Henner's a little bit more traction right now. He's looking to hunt down Seajoss for 12th. Ooh, the Williams Squid now. He's got Jack in his crosshairs. He gets through. Move back on the inside from the Renault. What battling we're seeing here in the opening of this race, and I think this is what we love to see, Unicorn.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like you say, tight battling, and this is a tough track to overtake on too. But we've got these two sort of major trains now. Mateo on the rear of Adrian, looking for it up the inside into turn 1, not finding the room, and Liam is just perched behind them, waiting for any poaching or overtakes that come his way, because slowing each other down around this track can be problematic. Qualification isn't too far away either, but Mateo now up the inside, down into turn 4. They're side by side coming out into turn 5. The McLaren is half a car length ahead, but Adrian has the inside going down towards turn 6 now. Side by side through here is pretty dangerous. So Mateo has taken the place. Adrian concedes it for now, but I'm sure he'll be looking to try and retake it as soon as possible. But this has closed both Liam and Kai into the fight for the podium positions. Now Domi is sort of steaming away as a result of all this battling behind him.
Otters P9 right now in the Mercedes. Maxim B, he's on the mediums with Verstappen Ben not too far behind, and the big question is, when are we going to see these mediums start to benefit and these softs start to fall off? And I think we're going to see it around lap 6, maybe 7 here. We'll have to see. Could be a little bit later depending on how the quali went. Depends on the tires for these front guys and how much wear they got. It's a unique situation, but Maxim B doesn't care. He's going for it now around the outside. Otter's a little bit later on the brakes, holding on the inside there. Maxim can't take too long with this when he makes these moves, because Verstappen Ben catching up. Now there goes Maxim with the DRS ahead. And Verstappen Ben, he wants to keep close to this.
Yeah, someone who's not keeping very close. Mateo, he's now sort of starting to bring a gap between him and Adrian is sort of leading a train now from 3rd all the way down through 7th now. Crampy at the rear. Mateo, him and Mario, have joined on the rear of Qualification and the rest of the drivers involved here. Lamp has already picked up a penalty in this race, and it is a 3 seconds, so he needs to be a bit more careful on track limits. Obviously the opening, if you're getting into battles, being pushed to the sides of the track, etc., it can be easy to pick him up. Liam now with a nice run on Adrian, looking to break away from the train as Mateo has done, down towards turn 1. Both on the brakes at the same time, but Liam maybe a little bit quicker off them, and Adrian holds it on the inside of turn 2, but he must be feeling the pressure of this train.
Well, here we have Liam now, DRS heading down into turn 4. He's got a great run. Adrian right now, Kai Bacchini on his inside. Is it going to be 2 taken from him? He's still holding on to 3rd here. Liam, no, just ahead. Where's Kai in this? Oh, this is tense. This is intense. Around the outside, the Mercedes, the AlphaTauri defending well. That is, of course, Mario in the McLaren looking at this battle. Kai Bacchini looking for fourth. He's holding off Adrian now, looking for the switch back through, and there's Kai into fourth, up the inside, the AlphaTauri. What tight battling we're seeing. Kai Bacchini's through now, and does Mario inherit a position as a result? And whew, we can breathe for a moment here as everyone was waiting for contact. We didn't see it, and that's what you love to see, is just nice, clean, hard racing. And here we have DRS now for the McLaren, but Adrian as well. Who has the better run? Kai right now, defending to the inside. Adrian around the outside. Kai defending well a little bit. Equal on the brakes there between these two. Adrian not able to do anything about that Mercedes, and Mario getting ever so closer here. Crampy is locked in just the same. Adrian with a move up the inside of Kai. Is there enough space right now? Liam is too far ahead to get a rear view shot, but right now Kai still holding on with Adrian barking up his gearbox. Man, Unicorn, how are things looking for you?
Yeah, these guys have been side by side, well, they're pretty much side by side for almost a lap there. Kai Bacchini around the outside of 6th. Very nicely done to avoid contact. Crampy almost exhausted his entire battery to try and keep up with that one, so he seems to be struggling a little bit as well, but for whatever reason or another, Adrian seems to just be struggling for pace, and I think we're still seeing it now. He does seem to be falling off a little bit from the rear of Kai now. Half a second between the two, and that might leave him a little bit vulnerable to the McLaren of Mario here. He will still have DRS, but look at the pace of the McLaren. I think he's going to be too far back for turn 1, but turn 4, we're going to be seeing it again, and the AlphaTauri struggling big time right now, and you got to wonder whether he's going to go for an undercut here, because it might be the only way he gets to stay in a competitive place for the podiums, at least in these opening laps, because over the last 7 or 8 laps he's really been struggling since the start.
Sorry, just to interrupt there. Henner's currently 12th on the grid. He's just taken a 3-second time penalty. Somebody else has just in front of him. I'm trying to think of who it was. Squid, actually. Not in front of him. Behind him took a penalty. Following along, but Henner's looking to perhaps make a move on the inside into turn 4. Tapping the Mercedes of Cotters in the rear. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but I do not believe he has any damage. Quite the sight to see, though.
Yeah, well, Henner's not a good start to this race at all. Probably feeling a little bit annoyed with how his race started. I do believe he got, on the grass through turn 2, lap 1, so a bit of a recovery drive for him needed. And now picking up a 3 seconds as well. Not really going to fuel his mindset in the best way possible.
Here we have Squid looking at the inside of Henry right now into turn 1. Does he get a little bit later on the brakes? Yes, he does. This is a wheel-to-wheel exchange. Henner's holding the lead, though, and he's going to hold it for the moment. Squid using a lot of that inside curb through 3, and now here's the run. Not enough. Not enough of an exit for the Williams to really do anything about this Haas at the moment. Mario in 6th position. Crampy up his gearbox in his rearview mirrors, and he's got Lamp not too far behind as well in this train, and they are all following along with Adrian, who has now dropped out of the DRS just ever so slightly of Kai Bacchini, and this is what Kai Bacchini needs. He needs to lose this train.
Yeah, I was watching on board with Mario there. He got very, very close to Adrian, and I'd be very surprised if we didn't see the move here. But Adrian, he's been saved here. He is now within DRS range of Kai, I think, through the detection zone. So yeah, you can. The AlphaTauri's rear wing has popped open. So he has managed to just claw his way back into 1 second of the Mercedes ahead. I imagine we're going to see him drop out of it pretty quickly again, but I don't know whether that was just excellent pace for him or Kai Bacchini making a mistake over the course of that lap, but very nicely done for him. And now Crampy is on the rear of Mario, down towards turn 4, but neither going to find the gap. Meanwhile, Henry looking to the outside of Cotters. Turn 4 later on the brakes, much later. That's very deep for the Haas, but Cotters manages to just hold it a little bit of contact. But either way, the position is neither won nor lost for either driver.
That was a very tight battle right there. I have to say, I got quite an interesting camera angle of that. Tell me what you guys thought of that one in the chat. We had a nice angle seeing the Haas lunge through on the outside. I have to say, I might have to screen grab that and maybe do something with it. Enhance it. That would look really cool. Yeah, Adrian right now, he's under threat. We have Mario hunting him down. No DRS this time for the AlphaTauri, and this is bad news for Adrian. There goes Mario. Clear ahead into turn 1. A little bit earlier on the brakes than Adrian would have liked, I think. He had a little bit more of a different plan, and this has really compromised his run through this S, and he's taking a 3-second time penalty, Unicorn. DRS now, though. Gradual move to the inside for him. Ooh, a little bit of a wheel tap as Mario squeeze and hold tight. Another exchange Cotters, Henners. That's turn 4 once again.
Yeah, it's super tight between these two. Henners did get past down the start finish straight, but Cotters, really, really nice exit out of turn 3. Got the run down to turn 4, and now it's almost deja vu. Mercedes around the outside of 6 and 7, but Henners a little bit later on the brakes, a little bit braver, and now Squid are on the outside. Yasko's retired, and that's not in the pit lane. That is outside of turn 2, and it's a full course safety car.
Oh my. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to lap 11. Safety car has been deployed.
Perfect timing.
Well, Scars is going to catch it, I think, perfectly here. This is bad news for him. Does he beat it out? Oh.
Just about, but look at everyone diving into the pits. This is bang on when you want it to come in for you. Domi onto the mediums. Everyone else looking like they're opting for the hard compound tires. Adrian slots onto the mediums as well.
What a thrilling race we've had here so far. We're only a third of the way through it. And Domi has caught up with that safety car leading this race in the Williams. Let's take a look. Verstappen is lined up behind him now. He's on the mediums. Wisp E3 on the mediums. Majority of this grid coming in. Majority of this grid. Domi getting that stop. Getting that stop done. This is good for Kai Bacchini. Actually, it's good for Matteo, Liam, Kai. I don't know if this is the right call out of the Renault and the AlphaTauri here, Unicorn. What do you think?
Staying out when the safety cars come out at such an opportune moment here. Yeah, like you said, I don't see what you gain from this track position because 11 lap old mediums here around Brazil. It is a difficult track to overtake around, but we've seen all the battling so far over the last 11 laps. It's definitely not impossible. So I would like to know what those pit crews are thinking by not pitting them. Maybe we'll see. Maybe they're just trying to avoid a double stack, but I don't think that's the case, especially for Ben, who I do believe was ahead of his teammate, although Jackas did get a good start, so I may be wrong on that front, but neither of them are coming in now, so I imagine it's planned.
What do all of our lovely strategists and race engineers and enthusiasts feel in the chat? What are we thinking about this strategy here out of the 2-3 cars? Verstappen, Wisp, the Renault and the AlphaTauri. 12 lap old mediums right now. Even Scars was on 8 lap old hards and came in.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm thinking here is that everyone else, or pretty much everyone else, at least the hards, whether the mediums can make it to the end, we'll have to wait and see on that front. But everyone else on the hards is going to take them to the end. They're going to be very, very slow towards the end, and they're not going to have exactly extreme pace on them. So, being on these mediums, maybe they're just hoping that they'll have the pace later on in this race. Medium hards, but just a later pit stop seems like a risky strategy. They can't go mediums, obviously, which would be perfect in this scenario. But, I mean, I can't see a medium soft coming out of either of them. I can't see a medium soft either. So maybe just they're hoping for fresher hards towards the end of this race, potentially. But even that seems a little bit misjudged. So You know, I'd love to be proven wrong by these two racers. You know, seeing them both up on the podium with excellent strategic plays, but I think right now what we're seeing is that everyone else is on a much better strategy, but neither of them have penalties at the moment, so they do have that in their favour. Many drivers don't, but there are many drivers that do as well.
We definitely know what kind of benefit a clean drive can give you, especially when safety cars like this present themselves. More so later in these races. I was just taking a look at penalties. Most of the penalties on the grid are those pesky 3-second penalties that you can't serve in the pit lane. We have Cotters. He has a 5-second time penalty. That's actually servable. The 3-second ones aren't, and they can accumulate after a long race like this, and you really don't want to be taking them. Here too, we've seen the potential of safety cars in this grid, as you know, we're following one right now. Although I'm not entirely sure what resulted in it. I know it was Yasko having an issue. I don't know if there was contact or if it was just maybe a mistake. This is a very, very serious lineup.
I actually want to correct. I reckon a medium soft is possible. It would be very, very tough, but I think it might be possible. These guys are, you know, preserving their mediums right now. They were fresh on at the start of the race. It would be very tough, but did you get, you know, 26 laps out of a set of mediums around here? I reckon it's not. I reckon it's possible. Like I said, it'd be very tough, but I reckon a one-stop medium soft could actually work for these guys. And safety car is in this lap, so we'll go back to green flag racing in just a moment.
Domi now, the de facto safety car. It's his job to pace this grid consistently and appropriately for a safe restart to the race. And we'll see what he's doing right now. Getting a little bit of temperature into these tires, and looks like he's hammering away now as that safety car has entered the pit lane. Teo already looking very tight to the rear of Wisp here, and this is where we're going to see these tires and what they can do for Verstappen and Wisp. And we've already got exchanges down the grid. Henners and Cotters, as well as Jack and Gadwin, are wheel to wheel. And there's a massive group of cars right now. Sejoss in the Alfa Romeo. He's on the inside of the Red Bull. Gadwin looking to defend. And there's a serious overtake right now. That's the racing point of Darian Alfie in on this as well. He's gotten through. He's in 16th position. Gadwin's actually dropped to 18th here. Oh, there is serious intensity and aggression coming out of this restart right now. In the back of this field, Jack S on the inside of Cotters. Cotters holding 13th position. Let's jump onto the front of things. Let's take a look at Kai. Kai's on the back of Liam. Liam behind Shortway. And it's, of course, Mateo not yet able to get through on these medium runners at the moment. But here we have it. Here comes the run down the hill. And there's going to be a lot of overtakes coming hard and fast here. Kai Baccini looking to be one of the first ones to occur. He's looking at his long season rival, Liam, right in his crosshairs as we move down into turn 1. Liam on the inside, defending with a nice maneuver to the inside, and Kai not able to do too much here.
Yeah, Darian and Sejoss are exchanging through the first couple of turns, and there's contact. Sejoss has spun. Oh, and he's collected Squid as well. Very unfortunate for the Williams to get caught up in that. But Darian seems to be okay. I don't think Sejoss has damage. But Squid might just have some, because he actually hit the car in front.
Yeah, Squid's missing a portion of his front right. Sejoss, however, no damage. Adrian barking right up the gearbox of Liam now. Liam not going to be happy to be looking at the rear view of Kai Baccini. Kai Baccini needs to outscore Liam in this race in order to try and take lead. There's an 11-point spread between the two. Liam has the upper hand of that standings fight for runner-up position in this championship, as Domi has already locked things in.
Yeah, and behind them they got Adrian. Obviously Adrian, we saw him have a pretty poor stint, you know, on those opening softs. And now he's on the softer compound tyre, the mediums versus the hards. And you got to wonder whether he can make those work for him and find that pace back, as Mateo looks around the outside of Wisp. Not going to find the move there, but these two drivers on those old mediums, obviously they're not gaining on Domi at all. Domi's already 3.6 seconds up the road from Verstappen, but they haven't lost any positions yet. And they're doing very well to make sure that that fact stays true. There is a huge train forming behind them, but they're well within their rights to.
Yeah, there's trains. Well, I want to say there's trains, but it's really one big train. The gap separating the little groups, the gaps aren't that massive. The only real gap that we're looking at is Henry right now in 12th position, 1.4 off of Maxim. Oh,
Yeah, and even that's
Verstappen
not
having
that
a little bit
huge.
of a connection issue, it would seem. Wisp and him doing a little bit of dancing through Sector 3 now we go, and Matteo really wants this Kai right now. P5. It's going to be DRS for most of these racers. I think Verstappen is in a position to lose out here. Take a look with Wisp.
Yeah.
Nothing doing.
They had to play this smart. They're on old mediums, and they don't want to destroy these tires. Kai Bacchini now is watching Matteo look at Wisp. Wisp just making sure there's not enough room for Matteo to squeeze his car around the outside, giving him plenty of room on the inside if he wants it. Not able to make it through. Liam and Adrian, they're battling. Adrian makes up a position, and Crampy follows him through as well. The Haas now might even try and look at the Alpha Tauri as well around the outside of turn 6. We saw Kai do this to Adrian. All those laps are going now. Adrian closing it off, but Crampy around the outside. What a move. And now they're still side by side. The Haas is ahead, but the AlphaTauri is still on the inside.
Oh, no.
Verstappen's out.
What's happened to the Renault? Verstappen has had an issue. He is into the wall, and I'm unsure what has caused it. We saw him having a little bit of lag. The VSC has come out as a result, and this is going to really neutralize some of the battles happening on circuit. Oh, dear.
According to Wisp Radio, the lag for Verstappen was pretty severe, and whether that's cost him the race here. Obviously, we'll have to wait for onboards to be, published after the race. Wisp now is into the pit lane, and it's softs. 17 laps on softs seems.
It was a wheel malfunction for Verstappen, so I guess his gear there over on his end giving him a little bit of an issue. So, thank you for letting us know in the chat. Greatly appreciate that. Ooh, drive-through penalty, Squid. Not going to be too thrilled about that. That's for sure is the Williams, and we're back to green flag racing. Mario on the rear of Liam. And this is a nice tight exchange as the safety car, or the VSC I should say, has not really done much to neutralize the race as the intervals are all very, very tight, and this grid is very much alive and well.
Yeah, this grid is so tightly packed right now. I can't remember the last time we had a Tier 2 race that was this close, this competitive, in terms of just how close everyone is on track. It's very, very entertaining to watch. And now Mario with a fairly nice run on Leo. I don't think he's going to get him down into turn 1. But they're all just so close. Jack and Darian. The Renault on the inside, and that's almost a spin for the Renault. It is a spin.
Darian's out, yeah.
For the Racing Point.
He's had a little bit of...
No
oh, he's very fortunate. Yeah, Wisp coming through now. This is a very tricky moment here. Oh. I'm not entirely sure if yellow flag was still up when Darian was back on circuit, but now Wisp... oh, Darian's looking to defend against the AlphaTauri. There's still a dive coming out of the AlphaTauri, and Wisp is through. The question is, does he have damage? Darian's looking to come back. No damage for Wisp. Oh, I don't know what to say about that one, Unicorn.
Yeah, I don't know the camera angles to give a fully fledged opinion, but stewards are for sure going to be having a look at that one after the race. As Adrian gets a little bit too much curb, almost sending his car spinning into the grass, and this might give Liam the opening he's looking for to get back past the AlphaTauri. Those mediums have helped Adrian. He has refound the pace that he would have been looking for on that initial stint, but Liam not able to find a way past. Crampy still in 4th place as well, and DRS is still well and truly alive throughout this grid, so...
Theo looking tight to the rear of the Mercedes right now into turn 4. Nothing doing just yet, but that is going to be a PB sector out of the McLaren. Nearly 0.2 the improvement on his personal best, and This grid as tight as ever. Liam in that Red Bull. He needs to close this gap to Kai right now because P6 versus P2 is a serious differential in points. Liam is fortunate to have an 11-point lead over Kai, however. But this fight for second in the championship looks like it's going to go down to the final round next week in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, going down to the wire is what every racing fan loves. The drama, the tension that comes as a result of that is nail-biting and truly glorious to watch unfold. And we've watched it over the last 21 weeks now. The season has been going on, but this race 22 laps deep, and now Liam
Mateo's gonna make it. Oh, he's a little bit earlier on the brakes than I would have expected him to for a committed move into turn 4 here, but Kai suddenly has a McLaren right on his rear tires.
Early braking, not something that, like you say, you expect on an overtaking maneuver, but at the same time, it can just sort of unnerve the driver ahead. This guy's just racing as he normally would. He's made the move, he's made it clear that he's there, but he's just going to take his line. And if Kai decides to give up that line, it's just an easy overtake and no problems for Mateo. But obviously, Kai has held his line, stays out in front, and is still in P2. You'd think, that he could be in first looking at the track map, but it is in fact Domi. But now, Mateo again, so close, and Liam and Ancient are very tight into turn 1, but again, the Red Bull just failing to find a way past. Super, super tight between these two. And Ancient is just clinging on to DRS for Crampy. It might not be enough though this time down into turn 4. Adrian later on the brakes though, and again, Liam struggling to find a way past Adrian. Truly off the track, but still holds on to P5 for the time being. Crampy is still making his presence felt on the battle ahead for the final 2 podium positions. And at this point on, if you were making your predictions before the race, Wisp's had a problem. He's down in 17th, and that's not what he wants, especially with his strategy that he's opted for here.
Yeah, that's going to cost him for those softs, that's for sure. That is for sure. This train just doesn't want to give in. All down through this grid, and Tier 1's going to be something else to see considering how this Tier 2 race is going. Liam now looking tight to the rear of Adrian. Crampy just ahead of them. Not able just yet to make the move on Mateo. Liam, is he going to get it done around the... Ooh, Adrian defending there around the outside. What a run out of the Red Bull here now.
I've watched these two so many times this race. Surely this is Liam's moment. Surely this is P5. But again, Adrian around the outside.
Oh, Mario behind them's gone into the wall. There's been a big crash for the McLaren. Coming out of turn 4. He's looking to rejoin the circuit. There's cars coming on the circuit. Oh, that was so close. Oh, my. Oh, my.
Well,
that was so dangerous.
Before that unfolded, Liam did actually successfully make the pass on Adrian. Just about. It was very touch and go, but everything remained clean in the end, and Mario gets passed by C just now, and look at the damage on that front wing. It's well and truly over for the McLaren. Squid retiring his car in the pit lane. No way back for the Williams driver. Polar opposites for the two Williams this afternoon.
Extremely unfortunate. I have to say, Mario, very fortunate that wasn't terminal. In the wall there. He hit it hard.
Well, lap 25, and everything sort of there's a very high peak of drama there in those last 2 laps. We had Wisp spinning out, we had Mario's monumental crash, and now Liam and Adrian finally exchanging places after pretty much the entire race of battling between the two, and
Yeah.
now everyone's just taking a little bit of a breather, I think, to compose themselves as we approach the final 10 laps of this race, where I imagine things can only get a little bit more dramatic as Lamp has a nice run on Adrian, but is he going to be like Liam? Struggle to find a way past the AlphaTauri, who's been putting on a very, very defensive drive here.
One thing I can say is if you are tuning into the stream and enjoying the race, you don't need to go too far to find more of it, because we are going to be here for Tier 1 racing later this evening. Lamp, Adrian in this heated exchange now, coming out of turn 4 through 5. Wheel to wheel. Ooh, Lamp around the outside. Is he able to get this done? Adrian holding very tight. Maxim B not too far behind, is looking to inherit a position, I imagine, rubbing his hands together, but there's Lamp through. 6th position for him. Ooh, shaky for both of them. And this is great for Maxim. Look how close he's been able to get to the rear of Adrian as a result of this battling.
Yeah, and I gotta hand it to the drivers here. I've always thought of turn 6 as a very, very risky place to go side by side, but we've seen it a few times now this race, and they have kept it so effortlessly looking clean through there. Big props to these guys for just able to keep that racecraft among them now. Like you say, Maxime B has a run on Adrian, but Adrian again has DRS to defend against on the car behind. Kai Bacchini picks up his first 3-second time penalty of the race, and Matteo behind him still yet to pick one up. This could be big for the end of this race, and Liam as well, to a lesser extent, might find himself on the podium if the race is to end in this fashion, and that train stays where it is. So Kai now really has to put his foot down, try and build up a gap to the drivers who don't have penalties behind him.
One thing to talk about is these penalties. Domi, no pressure on him right now. However, Matteo, he does have pressure, and pressure can, of course, cause you to make mistakes. And if Matteo makes any mistakes, he'll be right in the penalty situation with these guys.
Yeah, there are a few guys. Most of the penalties on the grid are 3 seconds. There are a few outliers. Lamp has 9. Crampy, interestingly, has 6 up in P4 right now. So we could have a big climber in Scars right now. He's at the rear of this train. 4 cars, Lamp, Adrian, Maxime, and himself. And he could pass all 3 of these guys on the line. And, depending on how well Crampy keeps going, and if Crampy picks up another penalty, maybe he could get Crampy as well and could finish well and truly into the points here in that Ferrari.
Liam in 5th right now. He's just holding a little bit further back, keeping a close eye on this. He has no penalties either. Scars less than a second away from Maxim, and he also has no penalties in that Ferrari. With a grid this tight, the penalties are going to play a massive role.
Yeah, what we're looking at now is, I can't imagine that it is going to be anywhere close to...
VSC.
We have a VSC. There's a huge... How is that a VSC? Mario's car is completely blocking the circuit. Kai, fingers crossed, we'll get a good look at this, provided that car doesn't go away. Because this car is parked right on the racing line.
Oh, it's gone away now.
Mario must have,
Domi's
spun
pit.
another...
I think this is a mistake. I think this is a huge mistake.
Yeah, the pit lane's longer than I think he anticipates it. Obviously, he can now hammer down, but you've got to wait, and it's going to be interesting where he comes out here. It might be 3rd, but it could also be about 5th. Or he can hold on to P2, or take P2, and Kai has a penalty. And fresh softs. We all know what Domi's like on a fresh set of softs, and well,
I have to say, if that VSC had come in any sooner, I think Domi would have gotten fried by an entire train of cars, but he's lucky. I think it extended just perfectly for him now. He's got Kai right in his crosshairs. Oh, what a gamble that paid off, I have to say.
Well, now he can take fastest lap. It currently lies with Mario, who was the cause of that VSC, but Now, Domi able to go and try and set it. The fresh softs just absolutely destroying Kai. There's nothing the Mercedes could do to defend against that. DRS on the Williams just pulls him straight back into P1. And like you said, that was pretty much a perfect pit stop. The VSC ended just when he needed it to.
This is good for Kai now because he has DRS still on that Williams. Mateo, no DRS. If Kai's able to stick with Domi just for a little bit here, stay out of that DRS of Mateo, build a gap, he'll neutralize that 3-second time penalty that he's picked up. It's crucial. Absolutely crucial.
Yeah, Mateo is going to be wanting to keep his nose clean, and he's on the same tyres as Kai. Kai has been on a push these last few laps, and well, VSC sort of brought his progress to a halt. 6 laps to go in this race when they cross that line. Mateo 2.6 seconds behind. So you've got to think that the favour lies with Kai at this moment in time to extend that gap to another 0.3. He's just done it, pulled another 10th out of him now. So Kai really on a good charge right now, but he's got a little bit less. And there's the fastest lap. Domi takes it on his first attempt. So very, very strong drive out of the Williams there. But yeah, right now I think Kai has the benefit over Mateo, but
XMB, sorry to interrupt you there. A very serious exit coming out of Sector 1 right now, and he's looking very tight with Adrian coming into Turn 4 on the inside, the Alfa Romeo. It's a battle of the 2 Alphas right now. Maxim not quite able to get this move done. Scars on the 2-lap older rubber in comparison on the medium tires has the front row seat in the popcorn, and he's going to be rubbing his hands together. Looking to clean them up, eating the popcorn after this and get through here.
Yeah, Scars still penalty free, and this battling ahead is just going to keep him in this running. He doesn't need to overtake these guys. He can just sit here right now, enjoy the show from the best seat in the house, and then just take their points on the line when he gets promoted on penalties. Obviously, he has to stay within 3 seconds of both of them. Well, I think that's very possible. He could also take Lamp, and I wouldn't be surprised if he took Crampy as well at the end of this race. So
he's on a very long tire stint here, 21 laps now on those mediums, and I can only imagine, given his current race position, he will be looking to try and get those to the end of this campaign.
There's a Haas stop. It's Henry going very slowly with an end plate missing on the left-hand side. Not quite sure what's happened to him, but he seems to have been struggling over the last couple of laps. He's just come in for fresh softs as well, so he's almost a lap down, and I imagine at this point he is going to be very disappointed with how this race has gone. It's not been good from start to finish here, and well, yeah, he's really struggling with that lack of downforce. Comes into the pits.
This has been an absolute thrilling race here. Henner is now retiring the car in the pit lane. He is finished with this one. And you hate to see it, but now, of course, 20 drivers began this race. We're down to 15. Maxim still within DRS of Adrian. One thing to note, Kai now 3.3 seconds off the rear of Domi. Mateo has been able to hold 1.3 on him. So this is very good in Mateo's case. And technically speaking, I'd have to say Liam as well. They're both within 3 seconds of Kai. So Kai currently poised to potentially lose a podium.
Yeah, this could be detrimental. I think I must have been reading the wrong delta before, because it's much closer than I made it out to be before. So yeah, Kai, like you say, it could be on for a loss of a podium here, and Liam and Mateo on for some nice points, and for that P2 in the standings, well, Liam looking very, very comfortable if he is to outscore Kai. I'd be very, very happy with that. Domi crosses to lap 34 then. 3 laps, including this one. Can Kai pull out that gap? Can Scars, who is now dropping off, actually, as a result of that tyre degradation, I think. And I think, but that's important for Domi's race as well. He did have that huge gap, but he would have been on similar tyres to what Scars is on, what Adrian's on, and you know, he's prevented this fall off by that with that pit stop he made under that VSC. So it was risky, but I think the risk was well worth it, and he picks up the extra point, obviously, for fastest lap.
What a dynamic race. I mean, we have had... I have to say, it hasn't been that dynamic in this later stint. We're looking at strategies, we're looking at penalties right now, but we've had so much overtaking in realistically the first half of this race. Now we're here about to enter into the penultimate lap. 4.7 seconds the gap between Kai and Domi, and right now everybody's wondering, is Kai going to stay on this podium? Does he have enough to stay out of Liam's crosshairs here? Because I don't know if it's about Matteo anymore here. He's got 2 laps to push. 2 laps to push. He needs to find 1.4, I think, to be safe here. To Matteo.
Yeah, another thing I'm keeping an eye on, Adrian. I was watching at the start of this stint. Now, 22 laps on the mediums. According to the radio, his tyres are now completely dead. According to him, Cottas and Scars. Cottas has caught the Ferrari. Scars retaking 9th place from the Mercedes. I do believe they had that exchange down towards turn 4, but these guys on the medium tyres are really struggling now in the closing couple of laps of this race.
Scars is just holding on with these mediums for dear life right now. For dear life. And Cotters, he's just sitting on that gearbox, and this is going to be a tough sell coming down into turn 1 for the Ferrari to hold 9th, I'll tell you that. Oh, but Cotters might have just had... Oh, what a recovery out of the Mercedes. He might just be lucky enough to get that run he needs. That was almost the opportunity done and dusted for him, but here it is. The lunge now coming down the inside into 9th. Adrian and Maxim are having their wheel-to-wheel exchange, and there's a big issue. Lamp is out of this race. Cotters and Scars both avoiding. Where's Darian? Does he have a look? Yeah, there's his teammate. That's a big issue for Lamp, and we're on the final lap of this race. Let's take a look at the gap between Kai and Matteo. 2.2 seconds realistically.
I've been looking at the gap, not just between Kai and Matteo, but Kai and Liam as well. I think Matteo's got P2 in the bag here, but Kai and Liam, it's been dancing around 3 seconds. There was at one point where he was about 400th off or staying on that podium, so it is going to be very close. Domi is approaching the line. Williams takes the checkered flag to end a very dominant race, but where does Kai finish? Where does Liam finish? Matteo will finish P2.
Yeah.
Liam beats him out. Look at the gap, 1/10.
Yeah. It's as anticipated here. It's as anticipated, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you don't want to take any penalties. It's Domi with another win here in Tier 2 Division around Brazil. Matteo collecting the 2nd position and that 2nd step on the podium. Liam rounding out your podium racers here in 3rd. Kai, he crossed the line 2nd, but it was that 3-second penalty that did him in the end. He finishes 4th. Maxim 5th. Trampy in 6th. Scars 7th. Adrian in 8th. Darian 9th. Gadwin in 10th in the Red Bull. Another double points finish for the charging Red Bulls. Then we have Cotters 11th. Wisp 12th. Jack S 13th. Seajoss 14th. Lamp with a very late unfortunate retirement, just heading out of turn 1. And then we have Henners, Mario, Squid, Verstappen, as well as Yasko, all finishing early in this one. DNF's unfortunate.
Yeah, penalties played a bit of a role further down the grid as well. Scars, driver of the day, picked up 2 places on the line. He took Cotters, and also Adrian dropped a little bit as well as a result of penalties. And Cotters dropped further as well, but there is Domi. Not the first time we've seen him on the top spot of this podium.
Definitely not. Definitely not. And for those that are big fans, I'm going to say fans in air quotations, fans of Domi and his winning streak, Next season will not be as easy for him. Rest assured. Domi with the race win. The Williams starting on pole position, getting the race win. 108.349 from him. Mateo 4th to 2nd. Liam holds on to 3rd here. Kai, he started 5th. He still nets a position. However, it's not the position he wanted. He wanted to be getting ahead of Liam in the championship. And I'm not entirely sure where that championship lands now. I can't really do that quick math. But he was 11 points behind Liam. Now it's a little bit furthermore. Maxim B, 5th. Crampy 6th, Scars 7th, Adrian 8th, Darren Alfie in 9th, and Gadwin rounding out the top 10 and the points finishers here for this one. Of course, we're going to be back in about 45 minutes time, Tier 1 racing. And we hope you'll join us for that, because if Tier 2 was anything to go by, that race is going to be something to see. And I am very excited and thrilled for that. So I hope you'll join us for that in just, of course, 40 minutes time. We're going to raid Unicorn. Any closing thoughts on this race?
Yeah, well, I've just done the maths. 14 points now, the gap between Liam and Kai for that P2 there. So, going to be very, very difficult for Kai to beat Liam there. But there were some really good drives there. Maxime was a big climber. The table's gone now, but it was something like, I want to say like 13th to 5th, something around there, and someone else in the top 10 as well came from about 15th on the grid. So some really nice drives in the mid-tier as well. And I got to stress again that most of that racing, in that second sector, super, super tough to overtake through there. Super, super tough to just go side by side through there. But a lot of these racers pulled it off. Kai, Adrian was side by side a lot through there. And, just really, really nice driving to watch those trains, keep it clean and tidy through there, watching all of that action. It made for a very, very dramatic, very, very entertaining race. And, just big congratulations to all the drivers. I think you can all pat yourselves on the back for the driving through that second sector. It was very, very enjoyable to watch and very, very clean as well. So,
yeah, just
absolutely thrilling.
Yeah, thrilling race for sure. Well, we'll hope to see you for the next thrilling race in just 45 minutes time. We are going to raid Mr. Raggy this evening. Of course, we're going to hit you with the outro, and we'll see you then. If not, we'll have another race tomorrow for you, 8 p.m. GMT. That is the club division, and that will round out our racing around Brazil for this week. We also have an endurance race this Saturday at 11 p.m. GMT, and we are going to Abu Dhabi. I hope to see you for that. Of course, guys, thank you so much. If you don't tune in for the next race, my name is Strifium. Joining me, as always, for Tier 2 action has been Unicorn, and have a fantastic evening.